All right, this time I'm going to publish the exhibit to the jury. Is the sound on? Just going to pause it right there. Would you just mind describing the interview room for the members of the jury?
Sure. The interview room, it's generally square. It's probably about 15 by 15 feet. It has two doors. From where the defendant was sitting, there would be a door. There was a door to her left, which went into the major crime office. And then there was a door straight ahead of her, which went to a hallway at Troop G. And the room is equipped with cameras and audio equipment.
And we've got one camera that's sort of facing the end of the table, and that's the angle that's the predominant angle in this video. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then there's a camera, I guess, in the upper corner of the room, which...
In the upper left-hand corner, it shows the door. It's the inset square in the video.
And does this time stamp refresh your memory as to approximately what time you interviewed the defendant?
Yes, we interviewed her approximately 12:49 p.m. on August 13, 2019.
Oh, and who was the other detective assisting you during the interview?
Detective Corey Clabby.
Do the same thing, Michelle. Just closing that just for privacy, okay? Some of the same stuff that I talked about earlier in the first interviews. You're not here under any kind of custody to get anything you want. You're here with your attorney and your moment. I'm glad you came in. If you need breaks, you're welcome to take breaks. You may need breaks. Your attorney may need breaks. If you want that Coca-Cola I offered you, let me know. You can leave anytime you want. You can take a break anytime you want. I am glad you came in. This is our third conversation, and that honestly is two more conversations than most people have. So it's our feeling that the way it looks now is you may be looking like you're more involved than you actually are. So we're trying to give you an opportunity to kind of explain what's going on and put things in perspective and context. All right.
Okay. What do you mean that I need both more time?
Okay. Well, obviously, we're talking about the disappearance of Jennifer. Okay. And one of the people that we're looking at as being involved in that was your former boyfriend. So there's a lot of indications that you should have some knowledge of what's going on. Okay. And there's been, during the first interview, there were some things that you said that we suspected might not be 100% accurate. And subsequent to that, there was a second interview. Subsequent to that, and before this interview, which is number 3, there's a lot of evidence that they were not truthful. So when you are truthful with us, it makes us wonder exactly where you are on the spectrum of involvement. So we think focus is close to 100%. We're not sure where you fall, as we want you to clarify where on that line you fall. The way that you do that is you have to be honest with us. You understand that? We understand this is tough for you. We know it is. We know English is not your first language. There are very few people in this room right now. I know the last time we talked, there were several people in the room. It's not going to be a lot of talking. We're going to give you as much time as you need to think about things. If you don't understand a question, you're more than welcome to ask us to rephrase it or re-ask it. But we need to get to what actually happened. Leading up to and on the 24th of May and following the 24th of May. Okay? And we need you to be 100% forthcoming now. You're going to help yourself. we want you to do that. We know there may be some things, Michelle, that you don't honestly know the answer to, and that's acceptable, but we know that there are things that you absolutely should know the answer to, and we need to clarify. We've gone through some of these things already, and like I said, this is just one thing. We prepared, so we have literally a topic, an interview one, what you said, interview two, what you said, and another. And this is, I'm just showing you this. I may need to refer to this throughout the interview. I hope I don't, because I hope that you're kind of, sort of being truthful. Okay. We're not here to cheat. We want the information that we know you have. Okay.
And we're here to listen, so we really need you to tell us, starting from the beginning until even now, everything. 3 months have gone by just about what we knew when we first met with this, to this, to this. Like I said, we were for the state police. This is what we do. This is the first time we've done this. So, just not even getting into our resume, just trust that, and we want to hear it. So,
There have been people who have sat in the chair you're sitting in right now in the past, who have done who told similar stories than what you told during the first and second interview, who ended up in prison. We don't want that to happen either. Okay, so you're giving me an opportunity. This really is an opportunity for you. Right? Are you ready? Are you ready to admit that you weren't 100% truthful with us during the first 2 interviews? That should be an easy answer.
Yes.
so we're willing to listen. If you want to start from the very beginning,
Just going to pause it at the timestamp 12:54:44. Did the defendant admit that she wasn't 100% truthful during the first 2 interviews?
Objection. That's not what it says. He's asking to characterize the answer. It's very clear. It's an ambiguous answer.
Well, the jury heard the video. And so it may not be a judicious use of the court's time to repeat what the jury has heard. Sustained.
Detective, after the defendant indicated yes when you asked her whether she was ready to admit that she had not been 100% truthful, did that impact how you were going to conduct the interview going forward?
Objection misstates the evidence before her answer. So that should be an easy answer. And then she said yes. Okay.
Well,
Not what Mr.
overruled.
Did that impact how you were going to conduct the interview?
Absolutely. We are seeking the truth. We are seeking the truth from her and what happened to Jennifer.
both how this all became, how it started, how it happened, and what you know. We will sit here and we will be quiet.
Why don't you start with Wednesday before that would be May 23, when I'm sorry, May 22, when photos went to the camera.
Yes.
Okay, let's just start with Wednesday.
Okay. Usually on Wednesdays he would go and see his kids in the afternoon, and I would take those days or those Wednesdays to go out with my daughter Nicole. That Wednesday I went with Nicole, Kim Rose, and Lauren, who's the daughter. We went to West Hartford to have a sushi at a restaurant in West Hartford. And I think we met there around 7, the 4 of us. I know I texted, I usually thought this would go to Grace Farms to spend time with the kids, and he had supposed to be a supervisor because he couldn't get along. I texted him, and I saw that the text didn't go through. And So I don't remember what I said, like, are you with the kids, are you enjoying it? I don't remember exactly, but I wrote something. And I saw that it didn't go through, like he didn't read the message. Not that he didn't read, like he didn't, I don't know how you say it, when you block someone, that you don't see the birds, or I call them the birds. So I put him like a finger. I said, okay.
An emoji.
I don't know.
Middle finger.
Yes. And then I went out and I never spoke. We had dinner, we finished dinner, we went to Icy Rolls. We were the last ones because Nicole was the last one to order an ice cream. And that probably, if they closed at 9, maybe we were there just before 9, 2 minutes before. And Nicole had her ice cream, and then we went back to the car. They went to their home, and I went to Nicole to Fort Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
And I arrived, and I think Fotis was already there. And well, obviously I put Nicole to bed, like what I always do. I asked how it was. He said it was good, like always, with the kids. They were lovely, they said hi. And that was it. And then Thursday, well, I wake up at the same time. No, sorry, Thursdays a little bit later because Nicole starts school on Thursday at 9 instead of at 8.
Did you have any discussion with Fotis about the fact that he didn't pick up the text? Or that he thought that
I did, but it wasn't right away. It was at some point we did. But it wasn't that night, or it wasn't that morning. Well, so I wake up, I take showers, I put usually my gym clothes. I take Nicole to school. On the way, we stop in Starbucks.
This is Thursday?
Yes, Thursday. Because usually on Thursdays, I don't cook for her in the morning, I don't do breakfast. We just stop in Starbucks. That's like our routine. And then I drop her off. And then I went to the house. I don't know if I went jogging, but I don't remember that. But usually I go back to the house. I go to the supermarket because we were having a dinner that night. Also, Nicole, on Wednesday, she told me that she needed oranges for a juice on Friday to take to the classroom. So I believe I bought the oranges that day. I went to my friend's store to Pecos to grab some rugs because Stefan and Beth, they wanted to see my rugs to see if they wanted to buy rugs. Well, obviously I picked up Nicole in school and we went to the house. Stefan and Beth, they arrived around 5. I showed them the rugs that they were in the office, on Fotis' office. Apparently they liked them, I gave them an explanation. I usually have a presentation in my computer with price lists, and I had it there just in case they asked. I was just showing them.
So you sell on Instagram? The rugs you sell on Instagram?
That's all.
You sell them on Instagram?
Well, I don't sell them on Instagram, but I have them posted.
Okay, post them, okay.
I have Expo Patagonia style.
Right.
But I mean, it's just to show pictures of the rugs, this is a business I just started this year. the owner of this company of the lot is a friend of mine that prior when I used to live in Argentina. I used to buy him the sheepskins rugs for the ski resort. So I called him in December, and I don't know if this is interesting.
Let's stay on track.
Fine. So then I took them in the house. So we walked out of the office to the TV room, and I showed them my green one that I had there. Then we went all the way to the room. I showed them the one that I had in the master bedroom. Then we went down. I showed them the one that I had in the family room, coffee box, and they were delighted. And this, and then the typical, oh, I would like to have the beige, but in this size. I don't know. We were kind of figuring out which one they wanted for them, but they were going to tell me not that one later. And then we went to the kitchen and we started getting the food ready. I already had the meat out. Renata was there cleaning the house all day. I think by the time I went to the kitchen, I think Renata left. I'm not 100%, but I think she said goodbye. I take the meat. The meat that I had was frozen, but I took it out during the afternoon. I got it ready. Then we started cutting to do the Greek salad and peeling potatoes. And we were in the kitchen. Stefan, Beth, me. At some point, Otis was present. And at a moment, Otis, we didn't have enough of meat. So he went supposedly to the supermarket to buy meat.
What market do you went to?
But, I mean, probably Stop and Shop, or we buy a lot from, what's his name?
That's right.
Meat or meat.
Okay. So you thought you had enough meat, but it turned out you didn't, so sometime Phyllis left.
To buy meat.
Right. What time was that?
What time?
About?
If they arrived at 5.
Just after 5, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we know where Phyllis was that night.
So we didn't go to the supermarket.
Well, please, you tell us. Why don't you tell us what you...
Oh, I came with a piece of meat from the supermarket.
So yeah, tell us.
Well, he came back with a piece of meat.
Okay.
I opened it and cleaned it up.
Okay.
And then right in Hodge and Aaron arrived. I believe 7.
Okay.
Maybe a little earlier, I don't know, but it was some time around there.
Okay.
And then, we're having wine. I think Fotis offered wine to Hodge and Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 3 of them went outside to cook the meat and the French fries. And it was raining, but not hard rain.
Okay.
So we were deciding to eat inside or outside. We decided to eat outside under the porch. And we put the table outside, me and Beth, Aaron helped. And I believe we ate probably around 8. We came down, we sat outside and we ate. And we were hanging the table, talking, blah, blah, blah. At some point I go upstairs to put people to bed. I spoke with my sister. I had a long conversation for, I don't remember, it was 15, 20 minutes, whatever.
Okay.
I put Nicole to bed, I go down, and Aaron and Hush were gone. They left. And Stefan and Greta were there and photos.
Mhm.
And we were hanging in the kitchen. They were washing the things from the dinner. And then at some point they did,
Okay.
I don't know, it was 10. We went to watch TV.
We,
Me and photos. And then at some point, obviously, we were falling asleep. We go upstairs and we go to sleep in the bed. And then Nicole calls me at 12:59. And
How did she call you? On the phone?
yes,
Like on the, she call your phone or did she use the app?
she calls me on her phone.
Does she have WhatsApp?
Yes, I think that was on WhatsApp.
Right.
But she called, no, it cannot be because I found it in the AT&T logs.
Okay.
So she called me from the regular phone. And
Like a house phone?
no,
So,
it
cell phone,
was from
okay.
her cell phone to
Is there a house phone in the house? Is there a hard line? There's no hard line going into the house? Is there a hard line going into the office? Before?
I never saw a phone. Now, if they have
So you
that,
guys just use cell
we
phones?
use the cell phone all the time.
Okay, it's a big house, right? Okay.
It's a 15,000
Big
square
house,
feet.
yeah, okay.
I mean, from one side, we would call each other from the phone, even though we're inside the house.
Okay.
That's something that we do on a regular basis.
Alright, so 12:59, Nicole calls. Alright, so you guys are watching TV. Folks.
Before going to bed, yes.
Okay. So continue from there.
Then I guess we were falling asleep in the couch and we go up to the bedroom. And I was obviously sleeping. Nicole calls me at 12:59 that it was raining hard, and it was. And I go to sleep with her. And then on Friday, the alarm goes on. Usually I have the alarms at 6:40. I go to my bedroom. I take shower to get changed.
What I just asked you, you said normally the alarm is 6:40. Was it 6:40 that morning?
Yes.
Okay. So your alarm went off at 6:40.
Well, Nicole's alarm also.
Nicole's?
Or I think she has it at 6:35 or 6:30.
Okay.
I think she has it like 10 minutes before me, but
Okay.
I'm not 100%.
Okay.
By night, for sure, it's at 6.
Somewhere around 6:30, 6:40.
which alarm was it that went off, do you know?
Well, hers and mine was in my room.
So what woke you up?
And Nicole's alarm.
So Nicole's alarm wakes you up.
Yeah.
You shut it off, or does Nicole shut it off, or does it just keep sounding?
No, she did.
Okay.
Because it was on her side. She
And
does
you
the
get up,
night table is on her side. She sleeps here, and I usually sleep next to the bathroom.
okay, so you get up, and what do?
I go to my room. Walk her to
Is
the
your
bathroom.
alarm going off?
My alarm, I think I turned it off. I think my alarm was going on.
So as you walked into the bedroom, was the alarm going off?
I'm not 100%, but I assume that yes, because I have the alarm set up, but I'm not 100%.
Okay,
But I woke up. I mean,
okay.
I wasn't sleeping.
And then what happened so you shut your alarm off in your bedroom, and what happens then?
Take shower, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, get dressed. I go downstairs, do the breakfast for Nicole.
When you shut your alarm off, between 6:30 and 6:40 in the morning, This is a very important question, okay? This kind of goes to, well, this is kind of, it goes to whether you're going to be truthful with this or not. When you shut off your alarm in your bedroom at 6:30, 6:40 a.m.,
I think mine says 6:40.
So, but this is a question.
when you set your alarm, when you turn your alarm off in your bedroom, was focus there?
He was not there. You did not take a shower with him. That was a lie.
Or a mistake? Or a mistake?
I want to call it a lie.
Okay. But now you realize that he wasn't
You have to understand
I
the
know,
perception.
I know, but I tell you, I would take showers with him, and I told Andy, I would take showers when we have relationship in the morning before the alarms goes on, and we would take showers together because obviously.
Yeah.
Okay,
We get it. You're tough. We understand.
But the truth is, what? What is the truth? Was he there that morning or not?
Well, I didn't see him in the bedroom or in the shower or in the room. I didn't.
Did you see him in the house at all?
I did not see him in the morning in the house.
So when was the first time?
I'm just going to pause it right there. You had detective, and I'm pausing it at 1:12:38 p.m. You and Detective Clavey appear to be engaging her about your previous conversations. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Could you just indicate for the jury what the defendant told you on June 2nd about Fotis Dulos' whereabouts on the morning of May 24th?
So during that first interview, she indicated she saw Fotis Dulos. Well, she had shower. Fotis Dulos was there when she woke up. He entered the shower with her when she was taking a shower, and then she later saw Fotis Dulos in the four-group office when she returned from bringing her child to school.
And directing your attention now to the June 6th interview, what did the defendant initially say about whether or not Mr. Dulos was home in the morning?
She initially said he was home.
Saw Fotis with your eyes.
When he called me, when he said, let's have lunch,
Okay.
that was the time.
So that was at Fort Jefferson Crossing. You were upstairs and you hear him call out.
Yeah, I was in Nicole's room. And he was in the down of the in the house, in the stairs. He was down and he says, Oni, let's have lunch. And I came out of
At
the
12 o'clock.
more or less.
Well, what's the window? Are you sure the time? Was there a window
What
that
is that?
the window, the time period?
12 to 1:30.
So sometime between noon and 1:30.
And that's usually the time that we would have lunch together,
Okay.
in our daily basis.
So between 12 and 1:30, Fotis, is that Fort Jefferson calling up to you to have lunch?
Yes, more or less.
So you can't say 100%. You just think it's between that one and a half.
Exactly.
So on that day, you don't know what time?
No, I'm not looking at the watch to see
Okay.
exactly what time
Well,
I
I
eat.
mean-
But normally, I eat between those times. But
Good.
when
Oh, yeah.
Did you, when you got out, just tell the officers what you did when you got out. And
When I get out,
right, when you took the call that day, all right?
I went downstairs, I cooked breakfast. Usually the breakfast for Nicole can be an omelette, can be a toast with Nutella, it can be strawberries with Nutella. I made the orange juice.
Okay, just tell them what you did and where you got out.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I did the juice and I went to the school and I dropped her off at the school.
And then,
And then I came back to the house. At some point I went up to the office. Kent was there
why did you go to your house?
because I had my computer and I'm not sure I had printed out some Lord & Taylor return, because I had to return some dresses from the court. And so I went inside to grab my stuff.
That's fine. Can't stay.
Yes.
It's here.
Talk about it.
Ken was in the far end. There's a table.
Glass table.
Yes.
It's a big room.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you go in from the inside of the house, it's a door. You have a square glass table, a round glass table that usually that's where Abel sits, a long one here, glass table as well. That's where Andy sits. Toti sits here, and then you walk like a little hallway, and there's another glass table, and there's an office. Not an office.
What does Kent do?
He was here.
He's in the middle of the room at the glass table?
Oh, in the glass table.
Yeah, which is kind of in the middle of the room, right?
Oh,
It's a big room.
yeah, it's to the wall, to the windows.
What is Kent doing?
I don't know what Ken is doing, but he was there.
Do you see Kent?
Yes,
Does Kent see you?
yes.
Do you and Kent talk?
Hi, good morning.
Do you say that to Kent? Does
Yes.
Kent respond to you?
Yes.
What does he say?
Hello, good morning.
Okay, so you two spoke.
Yes. And then I grabbed my computer. Toti's phone was there.
What was his cell phone?
Yes,
Was where?
in the desk.
In the bedroom or the office?
Inside the office.
I'm gonna pause it at 1:17:13 p.m. The defendant just indicated that she saw Mr. Dulos' cellular phone in the foregroup office, correct?
That's correct.
I want to direct you back to the June 6, 2019 interview. Did the subject of Mr. Dulos' cellular phone come up?
It did.
And what did the defendant say about whether or not she had seen his cell phone in that June 6 interview?
She indicated she had not seen it. She assumed it was with Fotis.
Let's stick with you, because remember, I wasn't there. Okay, so the cell phone that Fotis uses was there
Was there
in the office
in the office.
where Kent was.
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
Okay.
In the desk that is kind of like in the middle glass desk, in that
Okay.
square one.
Do you remember exactly where on the desk it was? Was it plugged in or was it just there?
It was plugged, but it was there.
Okay.
Like I believe the computer and the cell phone there.
When Fotis goes to bed at night, what does he normally do with his phone? Like me, I leave my phone next to my bed, plugged in the charger overnight. What practice does Fotis use with his phone?
He plugs it in different places, like near the window,
But in the bedroom.
in the bedroom, sometimes down in the kitchen, and there's two plugs in the table, in the kitchen aisle, whatever.
This is his main cell phone, the 865 number, the regular phone number. His main phone number, the one for Fort Roof, the one that
That's
has
the only one
each.
I know that he had. You guys are the ones who tell me that he had a different
Okay.
number.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we're talking about number phone. So you're saying that when Fotis goes to bed at night, sometimes his phone is in the kitchen, sometimes it's
He leaves his phone there all the
it's
house.
all.
And I think if you talk to his employees, they will tell you he always loses his phone, his wallet, and
Okay, but the day of the 24th, when you see Ken,
yes,
close his phone,
yes,
it's on the glass table
Yes.
in the office
yes,
where Ken was located.
yes,
When you woke up in the morning
yes,
and went into your bedroom to turn off your alarm,
yes.
do you remember if you saw Fotis' phone in that bedroom?
No, I saw it in the office.
You saw it in the office. Was that the first time that day you saw it in the office, or did you see it
I saw it in the office.
just then? Okay. So when you saw it, sure, you saw it in the office, were you surprised that mean, Fotis isn't there, right? But his
I
phone is
thought
there?
he was, but
Oh,
no,
so you
I
thought,
thought he was because.
But you didn't see him.
But I didn't see him. I didn't see him.
so was it the fact the phone was there that made you think that Fotis was also there?
Oh, Kent. I saw Kent. And I thought he was, but obviously he wasn't.
Okay.
And I think, but again, I don't know why I'm 100% sure, but I can be mistaken that when I took Nicole to school, the Suburban was there. The black Suburban
Okay.
that was parked
Okay.
next to the Cherokee.
Okay. Was the Suburban there when you came back from dropping Nicole off?
I'm pretty sure yes, but I don't want to say yes and then it wasn't.
Alright, so what you're saying, it sounds like, is that if Fotis wasn't there, he wasn't driving the Suburban, right?
If he wasn't,
If Fotis was not in the house, and the Suburban was at the house, then Fotis was not in the Suburban, right?
now yes, I think if I think like that, yes, of course he wasn't.
What do you say now? What do you mean now?
If
I'm not
it's
trying to
not
get you to
there-
say something, I'm asking.
No, I know, because back then,
Mhm.
I always thought that he was in the house, but thinking I never saw him, I never heard his voice, so obviously he wasn't, or probably he wasn't in the house.
Okay, let's just go back to the office. Okay, you can see this phone. Did the phone ring?
The phone rang, and it was a call from it said Andreas. And Ken stood up, and I think he was kind of, from where I imagine, coming towards this side of the room. Like, if you're gonna pick up the phone or something like that, I picked up, no one
When he
there.
said that to you?
He said, are you, like, there's a phone ringing, or you're gonna pick something with the phone, or the call, not the phone, the call. And I picked up the phone. I know Andreas, but I wasn't sure that it was Andreas. And I hear like noise, but I did hear Ella. Ella is hello in English, in Greek. And I said hola, and that was about it. Like, the communication didn't go through.
Did the phone just disconnect?
If you look,
Just going to pause it at 1:22:41. At any point during your first two interviews of the defendant on June 2nd, 2019 and June 6th, 2019, did she mention that she answered Mr. Dulos' phone?
No.
This is the first time she's mentioning it?
Yes.
Thank you.
but it wasn't like fast. It wasn't like 3 minutes, like hello. No, it was actually short.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it was Andrea's voice.
Okay.
Did you think that the call failed, or do you think that he hung up?
No, I think the call failed. I mean, like the connection was bad.
There was no further phone calls?
No, then I left. Then I went downstairs.
You and Ken didn't have any conversation after that?
No, I left because I had to go. I wanted to go to the supermarket. I had to do things throughout the day. I went downstairs. I cooked. I believe I ate an omelet, 100%. I sent some emails. I sent an email to Nicole's called the middle director of the school, because that Tuesday Nicole had fever. She had an activity in school. She got sunburned. And again, I spent that night with her. And I texted her, do you have sunscreen, please, to put on Nicole? And then texted that she left the purse in the house. And I took a picture and I said, is this one? I did.
Yes, no, I'm not, it is. When you left the office and you went downstairs and you hit the omelet, where was Otis's phone?
No, I left it in the office.
You left it in the office?
Yes.
You picked it up, you said, you heard a hola, hola, Ayla, and you said, hola, call failed, you put it back down,
Yes.
and you left.
And I left. So I was kind of back and forth with her, like I can go take it the purse wherever you want, I'm going that direction, I'm going to the supermarket, I mean, I can remember, but it was like 3, 4 back and forth. So I ended up grabbing the purse, and I drove to Kent, and not to Kent, to Hodge, to the warehouse. I was talking to my sister on FaceTime for a long time, like for 16 minutes. I made a lot of phone calls in the morning. I don't remember right now if you guys have my phone.
We do, yeah.
I think I called my mom, my dad, Paola, which I called her La Bruja, friend. Anyway. I drive to the warehouse, I go inside the office, I see a secretary, well, a woman, I don't know if it's a secretary, a blonde woman. I asked for Hodge, and Hodge was sitting to the right, and he stands up, and I gave him the purse. And he said, oh, thank you, we had a nice time, sorry we couldn't say goodbye. And I said, no, I was pretty good to sleep, but we had a nice time, or whatever conversation, and I left. And from there, I believe I went to the supermarket. On the supermarket, I found a robot. I took a picture with the robot in a video and I sent it to Nicole, to my family. I was kind of making like a stupid joke about the robot. I bought, or I had to buy, and I left and I went back to the house.
Okay. What time do you think you got back to the house? Do you have any idea what time you got back to the house? 10:30 somewhere?
It could be. I'm not 100%, but it could be.
Okay.
I know I called Pedro at some
Yeah.
point because I was going to meet with her.
Right.
She was leaving to London that day.
Right.
She was supposed to give me a check of some rocks that she bought, and I wanted to say goodbye. So I went, we arranged, and she said something like, we'll be here at 11 because I can only be for I'm going to be for only a short period of time.
Right.
So I probably got there at 11.
Till 9.
Oh, I
Get
did.
there at 11 or 9.
Okay. I probably stayed there like 15 minutes, 20 at the most. I sent an email to me with the descriptions of the items, of the rugs that she wanted. She told me I'm gonna pay you in cash. I said, no, I'd rather because she left her checkbook.
Yep.
So she said, I can go to the ATM. I'm saying, no, don't worry, pay me later. I'd rather have a check. Berenice was there. Berenice is her partner. So it's obviously saw it was Berenice or Claudia. No, yes, it was Berenice. And when I left. And I was stopped at the pond.
Mm-hmm.
To see if Queen was there. Because Hodge said, Hodge the night before said, Queen's already here. If you need someone to pull you, you can contact him. He's going to be every morning in the pond.
Right.
So I went to the pond. There was no one there. The water was windy. There was a lot of wind current in the water, so obviously it wasn't a good day for water skiing, and I left.
Okay.
And I went back to the house.
Okay.
and I was in the house.
Yeah, you did. You absolutely did. You stayed there till 1:32
Okay.
p.m.
Okay. Then for this comes, we eat.
How long after you arrived back at the house, Michelle, did Phyllis arrive? Do you have any idea?
If I arrive to the house, let's say at 11.
You arrived back at the house at 11:50.
Okay, so probably right after.
Okay.
So, well, at 1, it has to be, he arrived at some point.
He did arrive at some point, yes.
Okay.
It wasn't 12.
So 12:30, 1.
Little kids.
Okay, I know he arrived at some point. I don't
Okay.
know how
Little
fast.
kids.
Did he just show up? Or did
Yes.
they go pick him up?
No, he showed up in the house.
So he showed up on his own?
Yes.
How was he, what did he look like? How was he dressed when he showed up? Because this is him calling you down, right? Come down there once again.
Yes. He was with I believe he was with a shirt, like
Like a pullover shirt? Or a button-down shirt? Shirt and tie?
No, not tie. He doesn't.
Okay, so you got a button-down shirt.
Yes.
Okay.
He uses.
Rolls the sleeves.
He rolls
Did
his.
the shirt have a collar?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like
Right,
that.
so it had a collar, but there was no tie, and he had his sleeves rolled up. You
I
think?
have never seen him that much with ties on him when he goes to court.
And did you know, did you see Phyllis arrive?
No, it was.
So do you know how long he was at Fort Jefferson before he called up to you?
I wasn't. When he called me, I wasn't in court room.
So his appearance was normal.
I saw him normal.
He wasn't sweating, he wasn't red.
No, and he wasn't with blood. You told me.
He wasn't what?
With blood. So you guys told me in the last interview that he was. If he had blood.
Yeah.
Why did I ask you? I don't know.
Oh, you asked me. I said no. I didn't see him with blood.
We asked questions, said that to us.
I didn't see him with blood.
Okay.
Like the detail you gave earlier with the text message, you gave the middle finger and the blocking, like that detail, that's the detail we want. But sometimes we ask questions to see if there's a
But that
part
wasn't
of.
that day.
I know, I understand, I'm just giving you an example. Alright, well, the detail we like to see, sometimes we ask questions.
So you're not sure when he arrived at the house. When he did,
No.
he was dressed normally, and he didn't look
Pretty much dressed. He doesn't have that much clothes.
Mhm.
And he dressed pretty much the same.
Okay.
That's what I recall.
All right. So he calls to you. He says, "Let's have lunch."
Yes.
And what happens from there?
We have lunch fast.
Fast.
Yeah, because normally lunch, we don't sit for an hour. It's like reheated food. Sometimes we do salads, something fast, something easy.
Okay.
Usually it's like leftovers.
Do you remember what it was?
It was we ate pastel de papa.
What is that?
It's meat with mashed potatoes on top. I do that a lot. It's one of Nicole's favorite too.
That's Michelle.
So that's the leftovers.
Yeah.
That leftover.
Yeah.
Yeah. That leftovers. And
Yeah,
then,
that was that.
and then,
Usually in the afternoons for lunch, normally it's unless it's a salad, it's a leftover.
okay. So you guys ate fast. Was there a rush? No.
You eat maybe 15 minutes.
So what happened at lunch?
After lunch, at some point he calls me. And
Okay.
I wake up.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to. When you say at some point, it's like
no,
you're skipping over something.
I received a call of him at 1:53.
All right. So what did you do right after lunch? Did
I
you clean
went-
the dishes?
I put them in the sink.
You make sure you clean the dishes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you clean the dishes.
No, I don't know. I clean the dishes.
Oh, you put them in the
Put
sink.
them in the sink.
And then what did he do?
I don't know, but I did, because I have the logs, he called me at some point at 1:50 something, I don't remember. But you guys have my.
Please, try again.
Go ahead.
He said to call that, I don't know if it was that call, because he called me again after. He said at some point in one of the calls, he said, I need you to bring cleaning stuff to a mountain because Rania is coming tomorrow with some clients and I want the house to look decent.
I want to kind of stop you, just want to make sure you understand.
Perhaps we could
This is
pause
like-
it right now.
This is where, sir.
Yes, Judge, pause it at 1:35:04.
With some clients and I want the house to look decent.
I want to kind of stop, just want to make sure you understand that this is where it starts getting real important. And you know exactly where you were. And just so you know, what you told us the first couple times doesn't match up to this. This is very low. So you put the dishes in the sink.
Yes.
Okay. And Focus, you don't know what he did. Did he stay at Jefferson or did he leave?
No, he was gonna go to a mountain.
Okay.
But I don't know if he already left, but at some point he calls me.
All right. Well, I know you keep trying to get to that, but I want to go back. During lunch, what are you guys talking about? I know it's a fast lunch, but what are you discussing? Having any discussions with anything?
Not
Not
that
talking about anything. You got to be talking
No,
about.
of course you talk, but
Okay.
I don't remember like what I talk every day of my life when I have lunch.
All right.
Obviously,
Well,
it
you
was.
do remember a lot of details on some things.
No,
So
I do because I've been with Andy really focusing to be as much detail as possible
Okay.
to be able to give you as much information as I remember. But what I talk exactly, I don't have.
So let me ask you directly, was there any mention of Jennifer Dulos during your lunch photos on the 24th?
No, I don't know if that time we spoke about the problem that he didn't answer the phone. That Wednesday, I never
No,
knew.
the Andreas phone. What phone are you talking about? Oh, you're doing the 22nd. Right.
That Wednesday, he told me he went to Graceland.
All right. I'm not,
Okay, fine.
okay.
At some point, I don't know what day, I said, why you didn't, but
I gotta stop you because during the Friday of May 24th, you're eating lunch with Phyllis. Is there any mention of Jennifer? You want to talk about Jennifer?
I told
Did
you.
you ask him where he was that morning?
No.
When you got up that morning, were you expecting to see him?
Oh, because sometimes he wakes up and you have his phone. He wakes up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
Right.
And
Right.
he watches TV, he reads. Sorry, this is bothering me. And he leaves the room because he turns the light on and it bothers me. Or if he doesn't want to leave, I go to Nicole's room. Sometimes he moves to another room to read.
Is that something he always does?
Yes.
He's always done that. Or is that more recent?
It was more recent because I don't remember like when I first moved, he was sleeping very like we were kind of like in synchronized, you know, like when we're synchronized with someone.
So when you say more recent, how recent? When did the waking up at 4 a.m.?
Like for instance, when he came to Vail in March, and he came to visit, he was waking up a lot and he would tell me that it was because there was 2 hours of difference. So I didn't know if it was that was bothering him.
But you told us in the first interview that recently, prior to May 24th of 2019, he had started waking up earlier in the morning.
And there was a guy, I don't know if I told you, that he wanted for this to sell his piece of land in New Hartford. Nick. I told you. Okay, he was calling like at 4:30 in the morning. He did several calls, and that was annoying.
Sure.
But yes, he was waking up 4 or 5, and for me that was a bother because I don't wake up at that time.
You also weren't in that room that morning, right? You were
No,
in the
I know,
hall.
but I'm saying that in other days,
Right, another day.
and it bothered me, and I would either move to Nicole's room, or he would go to another place.
Okay.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
do you even know what time he woke up on May 24th? Okay, because you weren't in there with him, right? So you have lunch and you know that he's going to 80 Mountain Spring after lunch? How do you know that?
Because he told me.
Okay. And
He told me.
what's he going to 80 Mountain Spring to do?
He told me that it was because Vanya, the realtor,
Right.
was going the next day with some clients and the house has to be clean.
And did he tell you that at lunchtime?
No, he told me that I was going to, that he was going to 80, and then at some point he calls me saying, bring cleaning supplies for to clean the house
Okay.
for Vanya.
Okay.
That's more or less what I remember. And he called me like at 1:50 something, and he calls me like at 3.
Well, let me just tell you that at 1:33, Fotis is driving to Jefferson, or driving to Mountain Spring. And by 1:36, you guys are both arriving at Mountain Spring.
Okay, so I went with the cleaning stuff.
Okay. But you went with him. You guys are both driving into the driveway together, like literally right one right behind
We
the other.
went together. But
Do you remember driving over to Mountain Spring?
I remember driving.
And which car were you driving?
I was driving the Cherokee. But can you repeat again?
Well, I don't want to tell you, I'm trying to ask you. No, I'm trying to ask you, when you went over in the Jeep, where was Fotis already there at Mountain Spring?
I recall that, yes, but can you just repeat what you said that I didn't
I
understand?
will in a second. So, you drive the Jeep over at 1:36 and you arrive. You're saying Fotis was already there, that's not, he's driving in right ahead of you. You're following
So
him.
then I'm following you.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't. It could happen.
Okay, it did happen, absolutely did happen. No, I'm just telling
I'm
you,
not saying no.
okay? No, I'm just telling you that it's strange that you wouldn't remember that, but.
No, I don't, John.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay, no, I can't tell you what you were talking about.
Okay, and I do remember going back to the house at some point and then coming back. Like, I did go back from 80 to the house,
Yes,
and
you did.
from Jefferson to the house,
Yes,
because
that's
I
correct.
changed the vacuum for a room.
So when you came over in the Jeep, what did you have with you in the Jeep for cleaning supplies?
I brought bucket, a sponge, garbage bags, disposable, how do you call the gloves, disposable gloves.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
gloves,
yeah,
latex gloves,
yeah.
tight gloves, or like the ones that go up your arm?
No, the short ones.
Sure.
I package because I use that gloves. When I clean like the cats,
Drop-ins, right?
whatever that is.
I had a cat.
The box, the cat, the dog. When I clean when I'm doing like the meat or the chicken.
You wear
chicken,
latex gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
or the
yeah, you
chicken.
gotta watch out. What color was the bucket?
Our bucket, it's white. plastic, whatever.
Does it have a handle? Is it like a construction bucket or is it like a bucket you bring to the beach?
In the supermarket.
Okay. You remember what color the sponge was?
I believe it's yellow and green.
And do you remember what color the bags were?
Black.
Were they heavy bags or?
Just going to pause it at 143.52. Detective Kimball, in the course of your investigation, did you become aware of certain items that were recovered at Albany Avenue?
Yes, I did.
And would you describe, were any sponges recovered at Albany Avenue?
Yes.
What color were they?
Again, Your Honor, I'm going to object to this kind of narrative of other police conduct. It's not relevant to what's happening unless there's a.
I disagree.
Well, the testimony that has already been heard concern sponges, bags, and Detective Kimball has been asked, did you become aware of the recovery of certain items on Albany Avenue? Response is yes, sponges and bags. So the objection is overruled.
The sponge was yellow and green.
And what color were the garbage bags?
The garbage bags were black.
Were they lightweight? I mean, were they?
Garbage bags.
Or but sometimes they make heavy duty garbage bags. Sometimes they make
Oh,
regular.
yeah,
Flimsy.
I believe I took like the big garbage ones because I have those on the back and Butler's pantries are. That's where all the,
This is where all this came from. Butler's pantry.
no, like the bucket, what came from the kitchen, the sponge, the Windex, the Clorox. I don't know if it was from the Clorox, that's from bathrooms or whatever.
Is it a spray or is it a big gallon Clorox? It's a spray.
The one that says bleach, Clorox. The brand is Clorox, but it says bleach, all purpose.
Okay.
Um,
Where was that from?
I haven't, usually the cleaning supplies are divided either in the laundry room or in the kitchen. Like the vacuum and the broom, usually they're in the closet far in the mudroom, near the stairs. Or sometimes the vacuum is in the laundry, because depends when Renata leaves it.
Okay.
What else did I take? Paper towel. I think that's it.
What were you planning to clean?
House.
Like the whole house? The house,
And
right?
I wasn't cleaning up.
Okay.
So I cleaned, what did I clean? Countertop in the living room where the fireplace was, there were like dirts or like balls or something, like I think it was an animal thing. Yeah, my house had bats, had owl,
Okay.
that Andy, the guy that used to work for Fotis, was always complaining that I cannot find a guy that hires someone
Were
to
in the house? They would have droppings in the house.
It would have what?
They would, were the owls and bats inside the house and droppings
And
in
the
the house?
bats were supposedly in the attic.
Okay.
Then there was a problem with one of the bathroom that insects would come in, like bees, flies.
Okay.
Then there was an owl. That the owl did disappear. I don't know if Andy took it away. Anyway, so I cleaned the kitchen countertop. I went upstairs to the bathrooms and I put the liquid, the Clorox things, the bleach, and I just click the handle to the water come down. I then I went at some point to the house, and I
You
came
mean
back.
back to Jefferson?
Exactly, when I tracked to Jefferson.
Whatever, before that, what is Fotis doing?
Fotis, I saw him from the window of the bathroom of the master bedroom. At some point, he was fixing. He had some, I think they were pink or blue ribbons along the drive of the house. He was very upset always that when Stefan had the open houses, people were stepping in the grass. So he would put like ribbons, lines.
So people would not step in.
Yes. At some point, I know he went to the basement. In the basement of that house, I don't know if you guys been, it's like, and it's unfinished, and it has like construction things.
Okay.
I've been in that basement maybe 2 times.
Okay, so we went to the basement, why?
No, I didn't go that day.
He went, he said at some point,
At
he went.
some point, because I saw that door open,
Okay.
and obviously the door was open is because he was down there. Because that door usually is closed and it has a sign that says, I think it says unfinished basement, not open, or
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I know it used to have a paper. I don't know if it has that paper anymore.
Alright.
And well, that's it. I was inside the house.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Okay.
So whatever else you can remember.
No, well, but at some point I went to the house to grab the broom. But you have 1 time there.
Right.
And then you came back.
You went to the house
Yeah,
at Fort Jefferson.
I went to the house for Jefferson.
And how long did you stay there? Alright, well, I wanted to, sorry to interrupt, I got to interrupt for a second. The first time you went to 80 Mountain Spring, Michelle, you were cleaning the kitchen countertops and the bathrooms upstairs? Anything else?
I mean, I don't remember exactly what I cleaned, but I do know what I cleaned. I don't know what I cleaned first.
Sorry.
Okay, but I did tell you the countertops.
Yep.
And things of the toilet.
Toilet bowl. Toilet
The
bowl.
toilets. Yeah.
Okay.
Of the bathrooms of the ones on the top.
How many bathrooms are there? 3?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 bathrooms. Anything else?
I cleaned that part of the living room. I cleaned the outside. There's a terrace in front of the kitchen.
Yeah.
I used the broom and I picked up like leaves and I got
So you swept the terrace?
Yes, because they accumulate on this in the corners.
Okay.
I didn't do that much.
Okay. So when you arrived this first time, Fotis was driving in the Suburban?
When I arrived, when you say that we supposedly were together,
Yes, you were.
I was in the Cherokee,
Right.
and Fotis was in the Suburban.
Okay. Were there any other cars there?
Yes, the red pickup, a red car.
So when you drove it,
Just going to pause at 15109. The defendant just indicated that the red pickup, Pavel's truck, was there. During your June 2nd interview, did the defendant ever indicate to you that Mr. Gumini's truck was at 80 Mountain Spring Road?
No, she did not.
Did she talk about Mr. Gumini's truck during that first interview?
At the very end of the interview, she mentioned that Pavel had a red truck, which was dirty, old, and destroyed.
But she never said it was at 80 Mountain that
She
day.
never said that, no.
How about on June 6th, 2019? Did the defendant ever say to you that Pavel's truck was at 80 Mountain Spring Road?
She did not know.
already at 80, was Pavel there? Okay, where was he? Do you know where he went?
Yeah, supposedly, I mean, I didn't ask, but normally what he does, he's taking care of the house of new people.
Because you don't know specifically where Pavel was. But you didn't see him at 80 Mountain Spring, but his truck was there.
I didn't see, but I saw the car.
Okay.
I saw Pavel's,
The red pickup.
the red pickup.
But you didn't see
I saw
him.
Pavel afterwards when he came.
Right, when you
around
first
here.
arrived there.
No, I didn't see
Okay.
Pavel.
Do you have any idea why the truck was there? Do you have any idea how it got there? Okay. So you went back at one point to Jefferson. How long do you think you were at 80 Mountain Spring before you went back to Jefferson? Any idea?
I don't know why I think like for maybe an hour, 40 minutes, no?
Okay, 15 minutes.
Okay.
And now, how long were you at Fort Jefferson when you went back for the vacuum and the broom switch?
It could be then like an hour that I was there, and then I know at some point I went back and I stayed longer, but I don't know which time I was longer, if it was the first time or the second time, because I did clean, part of the house, but I don't know which one I was 15 minutes and which one I was more.
Okay.
But
That's why I was asking.
Oh, okay, I know, but again, that's what I told you, like, I'm not gonna remember. I know I went back at some point and I came back.
Okay.
That I know.
But when you went back to Jefferson, is it true that you only went back to get a vacuum or to switch the vacuum out because it wasn't working?
Yes, maybe I stayed there for a little bit longer. Maybe I could have stayed and do some emails.
Was there anything going on at 80 Mountain Spring that you didn't want to be a part of?
Not that I know, not of my knowledge. I went back, and at some point I went back to it with the room.
You did go back to 80.
Exactly.
Wasn't
Until
if you're just going back, if you're at 80 and you're going back to Fort Jefferson to switch out a non-functioning vacuum, and then you're going to return to 80 Mountain Spring, you're at Fort Jefferson a lot longer than we would expect that to be the case.
I probably stayed there for a while. Maybe I was in the computer. I could be, I don't know, maybe I stayed, and then I went. I do remember going back with the room.
You definitely went back.
Okay.
You understand?
With the room, and I swiped.
We're not quizzing you on time. We're not quizzing you on, I want you to understand. We're asking you what kinds of things you did, which would account for times that we know are the case. So we're just trying to understand. For instance, another thing is you told us you were washing windows.
No, I never said I was washing windows.
You said you were cleaning windows.
No, I did not. That's a lie.
I'm not lying, we're not lying.
I never said, I said I looked at the window and I saw photos.
We're talking about the previous interview, you said typed out right here, the things you say now.
Well, no, I
They're
didn't.
not all the same.
I didn't.
Would you like me to play it for you?
Yes.
Well, that's very interesting because there's another thing that we can play for you. Do you realize that? I'm not sure you.
Detective, I'm just going to stop it at 154:57. You indicated that the defendant had said in her previous interviews that she was washing windows, and she indicated that she hadn't said that. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Now, did she say that in her previous interviews?
She in fact did not.
Was that a mistake?
Yes.
Okay, where did that information come from?
That information came from Pavel Gumeny, who stated that when he arrived at 80 Mountain Spring Road, Fotis told him that Michelle Troconis had been washing windows.
She corrected you.
She corrected us, yes.
Realize until you play back the video.
You have to see it from our point of view. Like I said earlier, we know a lot that we did. Let me finish. You remember in explicit detail a lot of the things I'm going to call silly, pointless things that were maybe important to you. Like the receipt was in my purse on the counter. But now when we're getting into the grid, you're not remembering the explicit details that you really need to remember to help yourself. Okay.
I don't understand. Can you explain?
You remember a lot of simple details. I went and took a picture with the robot. I was going to this person's house, going to that person's house. But now that we're at a place that's very important, I don't know if I was going for 10 minutes or an hour and a half, but leading up to that, you're very, very good.
Can I tell you how? Because I went, I asked Edu for the chats. I asked my family for the chats. I asked my dad, everybody that I usually talk to, even in court, I asked them for chats, conversations.
So you've been going through all that?
I've been going, and that's how I know, okay, I went to bed at this time, I got my AT&T phone logs, so that's how I know at what time I was talking to whoever I was talking or texting. That's why I remember, but it's not because I have an Iron Man memory. So I'm sorry if I said I was feeling makeup.
Well, you definitely said you were.
Okay,
That's why we're asking you
Okay.
why you're not saying that.
What I remember, I said I was in the bathroom and I was looking through the window and I saw Fotis, fix the ribbons of the street.
First time I've heard of that.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I thought I heard about this.
Okay, we may.
Or maybe I don't remember.
I remember hearing about there being grass and so on and so forth, but I don't think that came from you. That the grass had been seeded, the soil, so they could grow the grass. The grass was coming down, I said, eating on the road.
I didn't do that grass.
No, we know, we're not seeing any different issues. It becomes confusing. I understand.
So the thing that we all didn't hear when it actually happened, what we now have on tape that we can play for you. Do you remember this setting?
As long as we hear the question first, right? You should hear the question.
Oh, we have to play that.
Detective, what are you playing for the defendant at this point?
I'm playing a segment of the second interview that took place at Attorney Bowman's office on the 6th.
And how are you playing it?
Playing it on a laptop computer.
You just back up. So we're talking about, we're trying to get you to talk about Friday the 24th, and whether you saw Fotis or not. And the whole Edie Mountain Spring activities, which are very important, I think, to this case.
Well, I didn't see Fotis yesterday. It's not a piece of your mind.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't attach the same significance to that that you do. Okay. Because you're asking her, and look, I'm not here to get into a disagreement with anybody, but I mean, I remember I was there at the time, and you were asking her about.
You're asking her about Edie too.
I know.
We're asking you.
Why don't listen? You know what the stakes are here, right? So I want you to tell them everything you know about Edie Mountain that afternoon. Okay, so look, I just want you to be clear that it's very important.
Yes.
And I want everybody in this room to know that you understand the importance of it. Okay?
So again, I cleaned part of the house, I didn't clean the whole house. I just clean all these pieces that I told you. I clean the terrace. At some point, Otis comes in and he asks for paper towel because he spilled something. I told him it's either in the kitchen or upstairs. He probably went pick up the paper towel, clean whatever he wanted to clean, and at some point I'm coming out and he gave me the paper towel, and I threw it in the garbage.
Gave you a dirty paper towel? You used a
Yes.
paper towel.
Yes. It was.
What was he using the paper towel for?
He said that he spilled, I think it was coffee, and
Coffee where?
in one of the cars. That's what he told me. I'm not sure if that's true or not. The paper towel was dirty.
What color was the paper towel? Or what color was the dirty paper towel?
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah.
I'm being honest with you, having a real hard time believing that you don't know what's going on here.
I didn't know what's going on.
Just going to pause it at 2:01:52. Detective, during the June 2nd, 2019 interview, did the defendant ever tell you that Mr. Dulos had given her a paper towel that was brown in color while she was at 80 Mountain Spring Road?
No, she did not.
How about during that June 6, 2019 interview? Did she ever include that detail during that interview?
She did not know.
No, I didn't see anything.
So he hands you a paper towel and he says he just spilled the coffee stains in one of the cars, but you don't know which car. Was it
No,
Toyota?
I believe it was in the Tacoma.
Okay, so he's spilling coffee. He spilled coffee in the Tacoma.
He always carries coffee, and he makes me buy the coffee things, Dixie, whatever they're called in the supermarket.
Where was he standing? Where was Toyota standing?
Outside,
When he hands you this paper towel.
I was getting out of the garage to go towards outside, and he was coming, so we met there.
Where was he coming from? Which direction was he coming?
From the garage, from the outside of the house.
Did you walk out? Did you walk out the garage?
I came out from it's the terrace, the kitchen, and the garage. There's a door. Have you been in the house or not?
No. I haven't. We have other people there. I've seen photos of it. I know the general layout.
Yeah. And being out in the garage towards outside the house where the cars were.
Right by the garage.
The cars were actually out here.
Yeah.
That's when we he says here, and I threw it in the garbage that was in the kitchen.
So where is the
And the Tacoma was standing here. The
Tacoma?
Tacoma was here. I believe the Cherokee was here, and the Suburban. And
where
this
is
is
it?
the house. Here.
Where's the place?
Here.
Okay.
This is all like
Are the doors open on any of the cars?
I didn't see that in that moment. Yeah. And then at some point, Pavel arrives, and that's when I see Pavel. That I believe it's around almost 5, maybe 4:30. I did also talk on the phone with a lady of the rocks.
Barbara.
Ah,
Barbara.
yes. And she told me to pick up that they were closing earlier that day because they were slow people. I saw the text that at some point I text with Greg Smith, he's our water skater. I also at some point spoke with my dad because I have calls from my dad.
Okay.
I'm just telling you things that happened, but I'm not exactly in terms of time.
So you left at some point from 80 Mountain Road
to go to the drugstore in your car. Is that correct?
But that was after, like, when we were all leaving.
Can we start at the time that Pavel?
Sure.
That's just a very short time before. Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about what happened when Pavel.
Pavel arrived, Fotis and I, we were like against the car,
Which car?
the Tacoma.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Fotis was like behind me, like physical contact. Pavel arrives. I think Fotis or Pavel says I didn't see anything or we weren't doing anything. I think something like a joke.
Maybe physically that you two were.
Maybe.
Yeah, I understand.
I believe Pavel started talking to Fotis about the house in New Canaan. I guess like how was the day or whatever. And at some point, I have to go because I wanted to go and get my rocks. So I think I said I have to go to get my rocks, and I think we all left pretty much at the same time. I think he turned around because he was parked here, so I think he backed up and he left. In the
He Pavel leaves the drive.
he lives in the Raptor.
When you left, okay, where were the cars?
The Tacoma was here. The Cherokee somewhere in here. The Suburban and the Raptor here because he arrived. More or less for what I remember.
So when you leave, what do you say?
I think we all left. I think Pavel leaves first. I'm not sure, but I think Fotis also lives in the Suburban. I live in the Cherokee. Fotis calls me and says, you took the keys for Pavel's car, or you have the keys of Pavel's car.
Not right away, all right.
No, he called me, like, I think the call was at 5:16.
And where were you when you received that call?
I was either in the house or driving to the house. I mean, I was somewhere in Deerfield, in the road. Deerfield,
No.
in the house. Okay, I was in the house. And then I said, well, I'll meet you here. And
Why didn't you take the keys?
the keys were in the car, in the Cherokee.
Keys were in the Cherokee.
The keys were in the Cherokee because he said, you took the keys. I said, I did? He said, yes, you took the keys for Pavel's car. And
That's not true. That's not true.
well,
Michelle, that is not true. I understand that Pavel came here for 10 hours
okay, well, so then I took the keys.
and talked to us.
I know.
So how did you get the key, Michelle, to the Tacoma?
That part,
Some pictures. Just to show a little of the work we've done. How did you get the keys to the Tacoma?
the keys of the Tacoma, they can be either when the Fotis put it in the car, or if I took the keys, it probably was in the, I don't know, I don't know where in the car.
You ended up with the keys.
I ended up with the keys.
There's more to the story also.
Yeah, there is, right. This is step one of how the keys came to be in her possession. I want to be clear on how that happened. So do you remember? I don't want to know this. Do you remember how you got the keys?
No, I don't, but the keys were in the, I had the keys. I did have the keys. I get outside the house, I give the keys to Fotis. I think Pavel, I don't think, I saw Pavel turning on the motorcycle, the Honda. And because supposedly he was going to take the Honda home. And then I think I leave because I wanted to do the rocks, but it was late. And I wasn't going to make it. So I think I leave.
I'm getting confused now. You get a call from POTUS, and he says you took the keys to Tacoma, bring them back. Is that correct?
But I didn't bring them back. I was in the house.
You were in the house?
I said, I come to the house, or I'm here in the house. So they
Bring the
like,
keys back to the Mount Spring.
no,
No?
no,
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I gave him the key in the house.
Okay.
At the porch office. Yes. I did not go back to a. And
So the transfer of the keys took place to
Fotis.
POTUS.
Yes,
Where was Pavel?
doing something with the motor.
Pavel was there too.
Yes.
Was there any conversation prior to your leaving 80 Mountain between Fotis and Pavel about Tacoma staying at 80 Mountain Road?
Not that I know.
Not that you heard, not that you're aware of?
No.
Fotis didn't want him to take the Raptor for the weekend, that didn't come up, there was no discussion that you would install that?
Not in front of me.
Not in front of you?
And for what I've understood, Pavel took the Tacoma, and that actually I told him, how did he take the motor? How he puts the motor on top of the pickup? He says that he goes to 585 in Berkeley, and that he backs up in a place that there's a hill, and he puts the motorcycle on. That's what they explained me.
Did Fotis ever tell you that Pavel wanted to sell the Tacoma?
Yes.
When did that take place?
That I think he told me that. I think it was on Wednesday on the car wash. Yes, at some point he tells me, I think Pavel wants to sell his car, and he asked me to stay with the Cherokee. And I said, well, I don't care. The only thing that if I want the Cherokee for the weekends to go somewhere far, like a long trip, he said, oh no, that's not going to be a problem. But that conversation was, I believe it was on Wednesday when I went to take him to the car wash.
Do you remember the date of that Wednesday?
29.
So the 29th on Wednesday, you voted.
Just going to pause it at 2:13:21 p.m. Detective Kimball, during your June 2nd, 2019 interview, did the defendant ever say to you that she had gone to a car wash either with or at close in time to Mr. Dulos with the Tacoma?
No, she did not.
How about in that June 6, 2019 interview?
No.
Did the topic of a car wash ever come up during that first interview on June 2nd?
She mentioned the word car wash, but it was out of context. She did not elaborate in any way on the car wash.
Thank
Pavel's Tacoma?
No. For this, at some point calls me and says, pick me up at the car wash in the parking lot. And so I went to pick him up, and then we went to meet with Andy. So we drove in.
Okay. A little more detail, okay? Because we're really kind of jumping ahead and chasing. Because there was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are all days that
Yeah, I believe Pavel took the Tacoma because actually that night we were in the Raptor. And the next day, Fotis took the Suburban, supposedly to see the kids, and I had the Cherokee. And the Sunday the same. He had the Suburban because he was gonna supposedly pick up the kids in New York, and I had the Cherokee. So I believe Pavel did take the Tacoma that Friday. Okay. With the motorcycle.
So the day of the car wash, you're home and you get a phone call from Flores to come meet you.
Yes, he said come and pick me up at I drop off the call in school, I go back to the house, I get to change. And he said, he either told me I have to drop the car in the car wash, pick me up in the parking lot, which I did. I picked him up. We came here and then
Okay.
Well,
Exactly what you did.
I went to pick him up. He came, I changed seats, and he drove the Yukon.
Yep.
We had the Yukon.
The rental.
The rental.
Now, your understanding of him taking the Tacoma to get washed was for what reason?
He told me that Pavel wanted to sell the car, and that, the whole, what I understood was the whole philosophy was that Pavel was going to stay with the Cherokee for a while until he gets a different car. And I said, I don't mind. I don't mind him staying with the Cherokee as long as if I go on a weekend somewhere, I can have the Cherokee because it's easier to drive.
And on what day was that explained to you, that Pavel was going to have the Cherokee?
Wednesday,
Wednesday,
when he went to the car wash.
so the day of the car wash. Okay.
So, alright, so he calls you, says, pick me up. Is that right?
Yeah, we were talking, on the phone. At some point, he called me like at 9:11, and I called, or vice versa. I called him at 9:11, he calls me at 9:13. But we end up on 44, there's a car wash. In that car wash, in the parking lot, I pick him up. Obviously, I changed seats. He drove to come down here.
Yeah, that's the first day you meet with Attorney Bowman.
Yes. And I don't know what time we arrived here, but.
Okay, so
And then
then
on the way back, I received a phone call from the car wash at 1:39 saying that the car was ready. I didn't give them my phone number because I didn't go and talk to them. It was faulties.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as driving back, I'm not 100%. We either after the meeting with Andy, we drove back to Farmington. Stops in the bank. Then I'm not sure if I picked up Nicole in the school. I don't know. This part I'm not right. And then back to the car wash that I dropped him off to pick up the car, and then I drove back home, or I went to pick up Nicole. The car, he washed the car.
So where were you? When did Fotis leave that morning? When did Fotis leave? He drove out of Jefferson with the Tacoma, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know when he left the house that morning?
No, but I believe it was like around 9. I believe. I'm not 100%.
Where were you when he left? You still at the house?
I was in the house, but I probably went out right after him to pick up him.
When you say you probably went right after him, Michelle,
I think I went after him to pick
well,
up.
after him could be a minute after him, a second after him, or an hour after him.
No, it wasn't an hour.
Okay.
It was
So,
close to going after him, like immediately.
immediately after him?
Yes.
So were you following him out of the driveway? Or did you leave a few minutes after he left?
I think It was immediately, like right after he.
Okay, so were you following him out of the driveway, or was it a few minutes after he left that you
No, it
left?
can be farther with me.
All right. And when he dropped the car off at Russell's Feeder in Avon, where were you?
In the parking lot, in the car.
You were in the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he dropped the car off. So how do you need to have a phone call from him to come pick him up? Because you're with him, dropping off the car.
I wasn't with him. He was in another car, and I was in another.
You were in the parking lot.
We spoke, and probably we spoke about, okay, I'm gonna drop off the car, go and drive to Andy. We had 2 calls. What did we talk? I don't know, but obviously I did drop him off. I'm not saying I didn't drop him off. Not drop him. I mean, I was in the car.
Told us that he had to call you to come pick him up, but you were in the parking lot of Russell's Feeders when he's dropping off the Tacoma,
Yes.
making arrangements to have it detailed, correct?
I didn't say any of that. I was in the parking lot.
Yes.
Okay, I was in the parking lot. I never talked to the
I
car.
understand that.
Okay,
But
so,
when he goes into Russell's Feeder
yes,
to drop off the Tacoma
yes,
to get it detailed,
yes.
you were in the parking lot of Russell's Feeders. Is that correct?
Yes, I was in the
Okay,
parking
so
lot.
once he leaves, he
He
drops, he comes out of Russell's Feeders,
He called me, where are you?
shutting off.
Okay.
He comes out of the office, he's paid for the detail. Does he get into your car?
He gets into the car, yes.
Okay. So I don't understand why he needs to call you and tell you to come pick him up. Because he's in your car.
Maybe it's, where are you? He's standing in the parking lot, or like, looking for me in the parking
So
lot.
all I know is what you tell us.
I
Let's
know.
come and pick me up, so that's why I'm asking.
Where am I?
Is this a good time to take a break, Judge?
10 more minutes.
Yes, sir.
Where to come to the car?
Okay.
I mean, that's.
So you followed him to Russell's Feeder, he went in, and left your phone number apparently,
Yes, because
Right.
he called me.
and then he comes out, he gets into well, you guys switch, you're in the rental, Yukon, and the two of you drive down together to Attorney Bowman in Westport, correct?
Yes,
And then sometime during the afternoon through 1:39, you get a call, and
yes.
you go back to Russell's Feeder.
I'm not sure if we went right, no, first I don't know if we were driving from here to Farmington.
Right, I'm listening.
At some point, I know he stops in the bank.
What, right?
And maybe I drop him there, or
From the
I.
bank surveillance. This is you guys in the bank, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
okay, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Detective Kimball, what are you showing the defendant? I paused it at 2:22:17.
Those are 2 still frames from the People's Bank surveillance from the ATM machine, which is essentially directly across from Russell's Peters.
I mean, say People's Bank, it's now M&T Bank.
It's out now M&T Bank, correct?
and I'm there, yes.
Yeah. That's you there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just saying, yes, you go to the bank and then you go.
Do I go to pick up my phone, or?
Do you remember?
I'm
saying. You went to your
Well, I don't know, but I know I went to the car wash and I dropped him off.
I want to go back to Avon for just 1 second. Lotus hands you the paper towel, the brown substance. Where did you place that?
In one of the black bags.
One of the black bags?
Yes.
Is that the only thing you placed in a black bag?
No, I put some paper towels that I used, and then that was it. I left all the cleaning supplies in the kitchen.
So that's the only thing you saw or threw out that he gave you at 89. Anything else you threw out, stuff that you used?
Yes.
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 Did all that stuff go into that one bag?
I don't know because I never went back to the house and I didn't pick up the cleaning supplies or anything. I guess at some point if Otis went back to pick up the Tacoma, he probably took everything. But I never went back to that stage, to 89, after that.
On Friday? What do you mean you never went back after you left? Which time? After you went home to switch out the vacuum cleaner, right?
Yes, and
Then
then
you
we went
went
back. Yes, but when we all left, since we all left, which I believe it was around 5,
Okay.
I never went back to 80.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Still confused. Did you ever take photos on Friday? Did you ever take photos back to Jefferson?
What do you mean, photos?
So you and photos at some point are both at 80.
Uh-huh.
Do you go back to Fort Jefferson around 407? And do you remember taking photos back to Jefferson? Or having photos and you drive back to Jefferson? On Friday?
It could be that he came to crowd show.
So you don't remember
You
how?
know what? I think I took his phone that it was on charge
Took his phone?
to charge it. I think. Can it be or no?
No, I wasn't there. You were there.
I know, but I don't know. Maybe he gave me the phone because he said I have no battery. And when I went and charged it at some point, then I left.
Then you left.
I mean, I went back
You gotta say where you
I
are.
went back, okay, from Fort Jefferson, I went back to 80.
You just took the phone back? Is this a maybe or is this a you did it?
I think I did. I think I took his phone to charge.
Because his battery was going. And he remained at 80.
Yes.
Doing what? Cleaning out the cone?
No.
Oh,
I saw him, I told you, outside, I saw him, at some point he went down to the basement because the door I saw it open. And no, that's it. I mean, I wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. I was inside the house.
Not when he needed you to towel from work. Not when he needed you the dirty towel you brought outside the house.
Well, I was walking outside the house and that's where we met. And the only time I was out is in the porch, in the terrace outside the house, but looking towards the lot,
Looking on the north side, the north.
to the lots.
Sorry.
This is the house. There's a tree here that I like because this tree, I like it because how it looks from one of the rooms. And the porch is here, and the garage is here, and all the garage parking is here.
The north is this way. So the lot is here, but it's.
And he has put these 2 lots for sale.
Right.
Well, one is supposed to be sold.
This would be an appropriate time to take the recess.
Yes, Judge.
The
Pause it at 2:27:29.
whole case thing is problematic. Is there anything,
Yeah, I think, whatever reason, I think we can tell you more about the key situation.
okay. Do you need anything? You use bathroom, you need coke? How do you feel like you're doing right now with us?
Obviously, I'm not comfortable, but not because of you guys.
Do you feel more truthful with us? Because I'm not sure I do.
Well, I tell you, everything this has been like very shocking to me.
I understand that.
And like when we spoke 2 months ago, I mean, I was like completely in shock. I've been really working hard with Andy to try to to figure out and bring my memory back. what has helped me is chats, pictures,
Okay, well,
that I've been recollecting from people.
bring up more picture, and I think that's a good word. Because we're here to determine which of these pictures, which of these folders, it's pretty thin folders, right? Are these gonna stay thin, or are they gonna continue on being, having photos put into them? So there are certain things in my mind that are not gonna be anymore, okay? This is you in photos, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
This is not gonna be anymore, ever. I'm just guessing. There are some other things that I'm hoping you still have an opportunity to partake in. I mean, you got some nice, you go on some nice trips. Okay, this is you in your family in Cuba, I believe, one of those photographs. Right, these are your family, right? Okay, this is your family, right?
It's not family. This is my best friend, my best friend,
Okay,
and this is the wife of him. This is the kid of him.
but these people are important to you, right? Is this person important to you? Okay.
No, because we got into all
You got you into a lot of crap. These people are important to you, right? Yeah. No, I have to guess which time on 10 of the one they were 3, 24,
We want right up the whole state.
Here,
It's fine.
is this person important to you, Michelle? Okay. Because quite frankly, this person is, I don't even know Nicole, but she's important to me. Because I don't want her to be without her mother. And I'll tell you right now, the way that things are going, I'm not feeling overly confident that you're being truthful enough with us to keep yourself together with her. Because, you know, Jennifer Valente, she and her boyfriend, Kyle David, she was sitting in your chair one time, telling us stories, kind of like what you're telling us. You know where she is right now? She's in prison for 8 years.
These are very
I
similar.
don't want that to be you, because I don't want her to be without her mom. So you need, we're not asking you difficult questions. These are things, Michelle, I want you to tell what happened with Jennifer, what you know about what photos did to Jennifer. That's what I want to know.
Okay, I don't know.
Let's take a break.
Yeah, take a few minutes and then I'll.
I think that's what
It's just, I'm trying to kind of shock you a little bit, because this is what it comes down to. Alright? I have a few minutes. We're gonna,
Let's rebuild again.
we can't find it out, because we have to.
But if you want to go somewhere private, we
Yeah,
can.
you want to go somewhere else, that's fine. Go anywhere you want.
All right, if you could just show us where I want to.
Oh, no, that's fine. You can come back here.
Just going to pause it at 2:32:08. Detective, in that last segment, you suggested to Attorney Bowman to take a break or ask if they needed a break. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And why did you do that?
We wanted to have a little bit of regrouping. We give him a chance to speak to his client and hopefully talk some sense into her.
All right. At this point, Judge, with the court's permission, can I jump ahead 30 seconds at
Yes.
a time until everyone returns?
Yes.
And y'all, we were federal prosecutor.
Oh, the blended 3 years. I was, but I was, let's say I was out for 2 years, then I was a federal defender. So I did that for about 3 years. I had 3 assistants who did whole state. It's bigger it's on trial. It's now on trial, then no questions need seen.
Really?
Yeah, Gregory Craig, one of the best lawyers, was charged in connection with, he was retained by the Ukrainian government.
Really?
And they charged him in connection with the foreign agent registration. So he's actually on trial.
Wow. Find themselves in the
But they, I mean,
Various
this guy was, I mean, he was Assistant Secretary of State. He was, one of the best lawyers in Washington.
Just going to pause it at 2:40:26. Attorney Bowman is speaking with another gentleman. Who's the other gentleman?
That's Detective Chris Allegro.
things that seem to be going on with, change after time, so to speak. Such as,
What is special for you, Michael?
sure.
Really? I mean, I don't want you to, because you're exhausted or tired, okay?
Alright, look. Again, from our standpoint, okay, the way we see things, what we've learned, just a little bit of what that is. You have to look at this way. Fuller's goes on Wednesday, prior to the 24th, to Grace Farms to be with his kids, and he
But he
doesn't.
didn't go to Crystal. For what I knew
All
from.
right, listen, just
Let me,
okay, just
listen, say what I gotta say, and then you'll have all the opportunity for it. You send him a text, doesn't go through, he doesn't get it, he doesn't respond. You become angry. You send him the emoji of the middle finger. Days later, you still bring it up because you're still upset about it. Okay? I've been through your phone. I've seen your phone. I see all the little snippets of when Fotis gets a text message and you take a little picture that you take. She gets a message from a female, and it's in Greek. You're all over it.
Yes.
And I'm sure you bring it up to him, what's this?
Eh,
Okay? Now, let's go to the 24th Friday. You wake up, you go in your bedroom, and Fotis isn't there. A few hours later, you come across his phone with Ken in the office. Fotis isn't there. And you expect us to believe that you didn't go looking for him the entire day. You didn't see him anywhere. You never questioned him. You weren't concerned about where he was. You didn't try to reach out to him. Why aren't you here? Why are you without your phone? Where are you? What are you doing? Yeah, I understand. So, we believe you know a lot more about this than what you're telling us. Okay? You don't want to call them lies. Call them whatever you want. Then this document comes into play. You and Fotis sat down and did your documents
with Pavel.
with Pavel. You guys do your documents, and here you talk about you wake up at 6:40 together, you take a shower.
I said that.
You go along with it.
Okay, but then I'm not saying that I didn't.
Okay? So,
That's
but the question
his
is,
conduct.
why, and this is how it looks at this timeline. When we sat down with you the first time, this is the timeline you gave us. Because I took the shower, I can read it to you. It's here, Michelle. So let me finish my point. Okay, so you're going through all this stuff. But what do you not tell us about? You don't tell us about the ride to Hartford. We had to bring that up. In fact, it's not even in here. Never happened, but it did. Okay, let me finish. You don't tell us about the key that just happens to end up in the Cherokee, but Pavel told us about the key. He even saw the key. And then he and Fotis disappeared. And when they come back, you and the key are gone. Not the way you said it happened, but the way Pavel said it happened.
We have to call you, we have to bring the key back to them.
But I didn't bring the key back.
So let me finish my point. So that's not in here. Then we fast forward to the 29th, and the car wash. None of that's in here. And that's all important stuff. I find it hard to believe a girl, a woman, is that on top of her man. You don't text me within the hour, I'm giving you the finger. And I saw the conversation with the whole thing. And it wasn't the first time that happened, where you guys went back and forth. All right? And then he's getting text messages from other women in Greek, and you're all over him. There's tons of women on that phone.
Yes.
Videos,
Did you see
pictures.
that? What was that?
Don't worry about that. I'm just talking about you because it kind of shows us a lot about you. And now he's not there. Just so happens to be the day that his wife goes missing. He's not there, but his phone is. Did you ever ask him? Where were you?
Well, after when the police came, yes.
Okay.
For the police
What did he
came at
say?
8:30 at night.
There's so much to this. There's no way you just didn't know. You're too involved. You're there. How could you hid this? So you really need to tell us what you truly know. You've been given a gift. All right, you've been given a gift to give yourself lots of freedoms in the future that you may not have. Jennifer Linton, her boyfriend, kills his two parents. They go missing. The girlfriend, she doesn't know anything. She gets arrested for one of the two charges you're charged with. She goes to jail for a lot less than what we have on you. She's doing 8 years. 8. And that's what you're looking at, but you have multiple counts. You have to explain this to you. Help yourself and tell us what you know, because we all believe you know a lot more. And if we're going to continue to go through the timeline, we're all set.
So after Wednesday, when he's with Jennifer, you send him the middle finger emoji because he doesn't respond. Just have a chance not sergeants. You're pissed off at him on Wednesday, right? You're mad at him? You are, because why else would you give him that? That's a F you, right?
Yes.
So you're mad at him. Then on Friday you wake up, he's not there. You don't know where he is. You told me you didn't know where he was, right? How do you not ask him where he was when he comes home for lunch? How does that happen?
Okay.
Do you know more, yes or no? And if you do, give us that answer and then start telling us. If not, I think we're all set.
Okay.
From the beginning, when he started to think about this, everything.
No, that I don't know.
Do you know more, yes or no?
No, I don't know about anything that if he planned or anything. I'm
Do
just
you know
telling
more about this, yes or no?
I don't know about what.
About Jennifer going missing and all the details that surround her. Do you know more than what you
No,
told
I'm
us
gonna
yes or
tell
no?
you. What he was like when I came out of the what's the called name of the 80 mountain that he asked for the paper towel. Yes, he was cleaning the Tacoma.
He was cleaning the
Tacoma.
Alright, so you've given us a lot of detail, but it's not the detail we need to hear.
Okay.
If Clovis was cleaning the Tacoma, if you
Because
saw
he said
more,
he's still talking.
you need to give us
Okay,
that detail,
I'll give you every detail.
explicit
That
detail.
Wednesday, I tell you, I didn't know where, I thought he was in Grace Farm. I found out that he wasn't in Grace Farm when he spoke with Jacob, probably Monday at night, and Jacob said, Fotis, were you inside that house that night? Were you, when you were having dinner? And I didn't know, I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, because if there's a hair, a piece of skin, whatever, of you inside that house, you're in big trouble.
From that house,
Jennifer's house.
Wells Lane. Yeah, we're Jennifer.
Yeah.
And his response was,
No, I did not go in.
no, I did not go in.
Yes.
Okay. But you didn't know he was at the house.
I
Did
didn't
not
know.
go in that house.
I didn't know. So that's when I got really pissed off and I said, you lied to me.
Sure.
You didn't go, you told me that you were in Grace Parks and that's why there was no signal.
This is the Michelle we want to talk.
Of course I was upset that day, but that was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That was on a Monday that he spoke with Jacob that night. Okay. Then, prior of that day, I knew, because Fotis was lying to me. He told me that the day before Mother's Day, that I was in Boston with Nicole, and he was your day? Oh, we had a fantastic time. We went to the fair. Wait. That was when was Mother's Day? Maybe 12. So 11. He went to the fair with the kids and the supervisor. Okay. And he said, oh, we had a nice time. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, perfect. I got you a gift. It was chosen. Okay, good. That night, and then he said, Constantine went to a lacrosse match. I'm like, why she does that? Why she takes the kids when it's your day to have them all? And he goes, well, you know how she is. And she said, no, but she just picked him up and took him to the whatever game. Okay, the next day, we were with all the family of Mark celebrating Mother's Day, and I hear Fotis telling Mark that Jennifer spent a couple of hours in that fair with him, and I didn't know either. So again, I got upset. I went to the car because I couldn't do a scene there. I called my mom and then my sisters. Then I went back to the place where we were having lunch. Yeah, I think it was a York, I don't know. To the restaurant where we were. And then that night, I'm like, why are you lying to me? And he said, well, I don't want you to get upset. So yes, it's true. Fotis had these things of chatting with women, looking at other women's, and I would get upset, yes. But I didn't know until I found out.
Okay, so now let's go back to 80 Mountain Road.
Okay.
I understand that history and the things that have said. We're here about what happened, Jennifer.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So tell us everything you saw. You explained it at Tacoma. So you say, why are we just getting that now? Why am I doing it? Let's hear it.
Okay.
All the details.
He asked for paper towel. He went inside. I think he went from the outside because I was outside. I said the paper towel is in the kitchen or it's upstairs because I put it in the bathroom, in one of the bathrooms. He went, grabbed it, and then at some point when I'm coming outside, he was walking from the Tacoma, like turning around from the Tacoma and walking towards me.
Which side of the Tacoma was he on? Driver's side?
Yeah.
Driver's side? Was it driver's side?
No. The Tacoma was looking towards going out.
Which side was he coming from?
From the co-pilot.
The passenger
The
side.
passenger.
So if it's a pickup truck, so there's only a driver and a passenger.
Well, does that have 4 doors or one? Okay, but I don't know. It was from here. And this is the driver and the passenger.
Yeah.
So he was coming from here.
Okay.
And then he walked and he grabbed me, he gave me a piece of paper over the toilet, paper towel, and I put it inside where I had the bag of cleaning, what I was cleaning, the house.
Okay. Did you see spilled coffee?
No, I didn't see that.
Did you see a coffee cup?
No, because I didn't look inside the car.
Did the paper towel smell like coffee?
No, I didn't smell
Well,
it.
still, you're holding coffee sticks.
But I hold the paper towel, but I didn't smell it, I didn't see that.
But even still, you didn't smell coffee.
No.
You know how coffee is when you smell it sticks.
Yeah.
Smell it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What other detail can you give?
The other detail, before Pavel arrived, we were against a Tacoma. Can I put a... Well, he was behind me. I pushed him like that. I turn around, I put my hands in his pocket, and he goes like this and said, I'll give you the surprise tonight, something like that. He made like a joke. And that's when Pavel arrived.
Does that happen on the passenger side of the car?
Yes. Yes, because the Tacoma was looking that way.
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm just curious from my own mind. When you're on the passenger side of the car, you guys pull it around?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's all I need to know.
I'm going to pause it at 2:53:47. The defendant just indicated that her and Mr. Dulos were fooling around on the passenger side of what vehicle?
The Toyota Tacoma.
Now, at any point during your June 2nd, 2019 interview, did the defendant give this detail that her and Fotis were being physical with each other?
Not at all, no.
How about on June 6, 2019?
No, not at all.
This is the house with the garage. This door was the one open. The Tacoma. Let's say was here.
Conversation of the keys. Yeah, they're not
Then,
still
There's
the same.
gonna be something
and then Pavel comes.
you're gonna hear that,
Pavel
okay,
comes.
I don't know what your evidence is, but I want you to hear something relating to the title.
Something like that. So this is the driver's passenger, and we were here, and Pavel comes, and I believe these cars were here later.
So this is the passenger side of the Tacoma, and the door is open.
Yes, and
Alright, Michelle, I'm just gonna ask you,
yes,
were you guys having sex? You and Fotis?
not with our clothes down, but
You
he
were,
was.
you were getting there, and then Pavel arrived?
Yeah, but we weren't. I don't think we were gonna have sex.
Okay.
But yes, we were.
So regardless, you guys were fooling around in a sense sexually
Yes,
in the passenger side of the Tacoma with the door open.
yes.
And that's at 80 Mountain on the 24th.
On that. Yes.
After Fotis has cleaned that car.
Yes, because he gave me the paper. I went in and then I came out.
Okay. So, please continue.
But it arrives. They make like a joke now because like 3 weeks later or 1 week before, Pavel found us in the kitchen. And since that day, we were making jokes like, oh, okay, we're not doing anything.
Okay.
Anything. I think Pavel says something about a bicycle. He talks about a bicycle.
Okay. Tell me about the bicycle.
No, he said, oh, you're riding bicycle, you're doing rides with a bicycle. And that's before they were talking, that was either before or after talking about 61 Sturbridge.
Alright.
What do you mean?
Pavel says this today on the 24th. The bicycle conversation comes up.
Yes.
So
I'm
Pavel,
almost
just let me
sure.
just
But
kind of
then,
make sure I
then I
understand.
saw Pavel on Tuesday when the timeline with the three of us.
Did Pavel say that he saw a bicycle in New Canaan on the 24th at 61 Sturbridge? No, I'm trying to understand. So there was a bicycle at this house. Which bike was it?
Not a motorcycle, a bicycle.
Bicycle?
Yes.
Okay.
For this old bicycle.
What color is it?
Dark gray, brownish.
It's a dark gray brown bike. Is that bike at Fort Jefferson?
It must be.
It must be.
It must be there.
Okay. Tell me what Pavel said about the bicycle.
Something of riding, are you riding bicycle, or you're training, are you being Armstrong, something like that.
Okay. Do you know why I said that?
Because he was making a joke because he saw a bicycle.
Okay. So at 80 Mountain that day, there was a bicycle.
That was a bus.
Was the bicycle in the Tacoma?
No, it was inside the house.
It was inside the house?
Not inside the house, in the garage. In the
You know
garage.
what kind of bicycle?
It's a,
Just gonna pause it at 2:57:15. The defendant just indicated to you that she saw a bicycle in the garage of what residence?
80 Mountain Spring Road.
On June 2nd, 2019, did the defendant indicate to you that she had seen Fotis Dulos' bicycle at 80 Mountain Spring Road?
No, not at all.
How about on June 6th, 2019? Did that detail come out?
No, it did not.
an old bicycle of 40s that 40 said that he had it since he was like 18. Because I have, when I went to pick up my stuff, I grabbed the 3 bicycles, 2 that are mine, and I have them, they're in the hotel. The mountain one, the street one, those 2 are mine, and a street of 40s that is like gray. But that one, I bought it, we bought these 2 together like last year.
And was that bicycle at 80 Mountain ever before?
Which
Excuse me, the bicycle that they're talking about, the gray one.
I don't know, because I go to this house only when he shows it to some clients in particular.
And no kind of bike it is?
No, but it's an old one. It's like a
Is there a
20.
Mercier?
I know it's supposed to be a good bicycle, but old.
Okay. So what else?
And that's it. And then at some point we all did.
Alright, so now let's talk about the keys. I'm just gonna be open with you, just to tell you. Pavel sees the keys hanging in the passenger side door, and
Okay,
he arrives at 80 Mountain.
okay.
He and Fotis go for a walk, and they talk about the the grass, that's coming up nicely, the area where the ribbon is. According to Pavel, that's when you leave, and when they come back, the keys are gone.
So
Suggesting that you took the keys.
So I'm just going to pause it at 2:58:49. Detective Clabby was relating what Pavel Gumieni had stated during his interview. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
But that's not exactly what Mr. Gumieni said, correct?
That's correct. That was not what Mr. Guimeni had said.
What information did Mr. Gumieni provide during his interview?
Mr. Guimeni indicated that
Objection, hearsay.
Well, the question is, what did Mr. Gumeni say during his 10-hour interview concerning the bicycle? And the objection is hearsay. Well, the panoramic view of what is being shown to the jury is relevant to the questions that are being asked of the defendant. So they're not, in this court view, offered for the truth, but how the police are going to interrogate the defendant concerning the bike. Overruled.
What did Mr. Gumieni say regarding the keys?
Mr. Guimeni said that he was leaving, when he left 80 Mountain Spring Road, he left in the Raptor. As he was leaving, he saw the keys to his vehicle in the door of his vehicle. He thought for a moment to retrieve them. At that time, he decided that he was going to be coming right back. He left them. He left. And when he returned with Fotis Dulos in the Raptor, the keys were missing.
there's no reason why I took the keys and I left, but I.
So this is where the problem is. This is where it's problematic. This is where we come back to this. All the things that we talked about in here that were said by you, not once, sometimes twice, because we've met 2 times before, that
But I said.
that were less than truthful. Now all of a sudden, you're taking the keys. You have to understand how that looks, okay? You do look very bad, okay? You need to explain, why did you go along with this? Because it looks like you knew what you're saying.
He worked.
Explain it, right?
Okay.
This is your chance to explain.
On Tuesday morning, after I dropped off the call, Pavel
What day? What day? Tuesday?
28.
28th, okay.
After dropping off the call in the school, I come back. Fotis and Pavel, at some point they arrived to the kitchen. Fotis grabs a book, a notebook, tears those pages and says, we have to write timelines to remember what happened that day. Pavel said, I don't need to write because I'm going to remember. And I said, I have to write because I'm not going to remember. Because, I don't know, I must have a very brilliant mind. I don't.
So did you write out yourself?
No, that's not my handwriting. That's
So that's what I'm asking. Did you write out your note to remember?
I wrote one, but mine were highlighted. First, my arm, took people to school.
This one.
Exactly. That. Took people to school. Like it was very basic.
Right.
The way I wrote it.
Right.
And he was the one saying, okay, Pavel, and you arrived, let's say 4:30. I don't remember what time he put Pavel. And Pavel said, you look like shit. To Fotis, like that he looked like shit.
Okay.
And Fotis said, oh, don't say that. Fotis told Pavel. That was like one thing that I was like, I don't know the meaning of it. Then he said, Michi, you took the keys from Pavel's car. And I said, okay, yes. Like, it wasn't like important for me. Well, it wasn't important because first, I thought that to write a timeline was to kind of remember what you did that day. Which if you see my timeline, has nothing. It was like alarm.
Pavel said he took the keys and Forrest said.
No, Fotis said it to me.
Forrest
Fotis
said that?
said it. Michi, you took the keys. And I said, yes. And he said, and we have to go back and get the car. Or pick up the pickup truck. Pavel's car. In 80. And that's how he was going through the timeline. But he was the one writing.
And he's the one that said what? About the keys in the timeline.
He said, Michi, you took the keys of Pavel's car. And I said, yes.
And what?
And then we had to go and pick up the car.
No.
Well, you gave me the keys?
We were different. I'm trying to.
Well, I'm telling you that what I remember of him in the kitchen arguing with us or telling us in the kitchen with Pavel.
Okay, but there's already things that Pavel is bringing up that Fotis is saying don't tell the police about, right? Like you look like shit. Right.
Yes.
Oh, what about the keys? Did Fotis?
I don't think
Okay, well, what we think happened is what we heard happen is Pavel said, and you took the keys, and Fotis said, we're gonna leave her out of it. We're gonna not tell the police, just like Fotis said, we're not gonna tell the police about Pavel saying, look, I look like shit, we're not gonna tell them that.
Oh, yes, that he said,
Okay.
but he didn't say don't tell the police. He said,
I understand, but the meaning was,
No, the things that you don't want to tell the police never made it into the story. That's the situation you're in. When we sat down with you the first time, everything you told us was from this paper. Okay? All the untrue statements were from this paper. At this point, it doesn't matter who wrote it. You're the one that said it. I'm not the one that has to answer to that. Okay? There was a reason why you followed this, and I'm calling it a script because that's pretty much what it is. All right? What you wrote, you wrote a timeline. Okay? Well, it's in here. All right? That's a timeline. No. This is a script. Friday the 24th. And it just goes through. Michelle's looked over it before she came.
I didn't read his, I did mine.
But when we go through everything you told us the first time we met, it's 100% that page. So on the page that's that house for. You memorized it.
Oh, he did.
And you're the one that regurgitated those words. You know, I wanted to include taking a shower together.
We can stop it now.
Bueno, I
304:42.
Thank you.